This Cancer new moon is a time where we are going to experience circumstances and potentially challenges that help us expand unconditional love, that help us more deeply understand our emotional inner worlds, the emotions that we adopt from our family systems, the emotions that we feel from being part of a family or not part of a family, or friends that we call family, other people in our lives. A sense of safety ultimately is the focus, and we will all want to expand on that in some way. This is a time where people might want to retreat a little bit more into whatever feels safe, and a wonderful opportunity for emotional processing. An opportunity where emotional processing, and the more that we focus on what's really going on in our inner worlds, which is really the true home for each of us, then we can expand into action that really fits what we need. And generally feeling like there's a structure in place that supports us, that has our backs, and that allows us to look at all of this emotion and that allows us to be emotional people. We need safety for that, but there's also so much closeness and family energy that can be created from understanding our own emotions really well and connecting with others in that emotional place. That is a really big part of what this Jupiter in Cancer for an entire year is going to be about. And this is the new moon that kicks it all off. Jupiter moved into Cancer on June 9th, but on June 25th, this new moon in Cancer conjoins Jupiter and is engaging in energy of tension with Saturn and Neptune, who are also newly on their journeys in Aries. There are also a lot of beautiful aspects in the sky, so I'm going to tell you all about the energy you can expect this new moon cycle. And it's the intro where it'll really get into the detail of what this energy could feel like. And then the sign by sign, check your sun, moon, and rising. And that's really just to get a sense of where in your life to show up. And I will give some suggestions of how this could play out, but it's really up to each person to interpret, because these are general readings. These are based on Western tropical zodiac, and they won't be precise for everyone, but you will get a good sense of what is coming along and why this will matter for you. Shout outs to my friends at Otter Spirit who have recently sent me a new trio pack. This one is called New Beginnings. In this pack, you get rhodonite, moonstone, and labradorite. I am someone who loves to surround myself with crystal gem energy. I typically have this whole windowsill, all these rocks that some fit in pockets, some just sit around rooms. But what better way than to wear them on my wrists? So you see me with them in every video. They are AAA grade quality stones. So if you like these gems or crystals in general, I highly recommend checking out their online store. I will link my affiliate link in the description below. They have their stones organized by zodiac sign, which is such a great way to shop for specific energy. I hope you love them as much as I do. And now let's get into the new beginning energy. We have this energy of Jupiter in Cancer for a whole year. And this new moon in this moment, because this energy is still all in the first few degrees, we have Jupiter at 3 degrees. The new moon is happening at 4 degrees Cancer. So any of the cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra, these are going to be the signs at the first 7 degrees of these signs especially, but everyone is going to feel it in some way. This could be a time where you're feeling more emotional. So watch for that especially, and take time and space where you can. But know that these waves of emotion are going to be coming up all year in ways that are different and unique for each of us at different times. But that's what Jupiter in Cancer is going to do. It's going to open up the emotional floodgates. And especially at a moment like this, where the new moon and Jupiter are in square with Saturn and Neptune, there's a lot of potential for conflict to show up And the purpose of that is going to be to understand our emotional needs better, to heal emotional wounds from the past, an opportunity to look at old things that might still be really sensitive points and preventing us from moving in the direction that we want to. Saturn and Neptune in Aries, this is energy when we act impulsively based on our instincts for our needs. We, like the toddler energy that Aries is known for, we just go for what we want and we're not thinking about the group. We're not thinking about the family. And Cancer thinks about the family. Cancer is the mother. Cancer is our intuition and the nurturing energy that we give ourselves first and foremost. And it's through that process when we can nurture ourselves that we're able to nurture other people. And I do believe that sometimes this goes both ways. I think that when we have children around us and we are nurturing children, that gets reflected back to us as well. And that parts of us get to feel that nurturing conversation, and that can be a healing moment. Same thing if that's a friend or someone else. When we meet in those emotional places, there's an opportunity for an expansion of love. And there's an opportunity to understand what family is to each of us in a better, more evolved way. Because there's going to be the automatic ways that we came to understand family. And then there is what we are creating moving forward for what family means to us. And that is the Saturn and Neptune in Aries as well, is that we have this opportunity to boldly move forward on a new mission. Another beautiful thing about this moon is that Jupiter loves being in Cancer, and so does the moon. It is right at home in Cancer. It is the ruler of Cancer. So this energy of Jupiter and a new moon conjoin Jupiter's new transit here is a really special moment. So even if it does feel like a lot of emotion coming up, I think it will be well received by a lot of us. To add to this energy, I think that something that really fits the new moon that we're coming up to, the expression that Jada Pinkett Smith has been sharing with the world. I actually don't know exactly when her book came out and when a lot of this came to, but I recently found 2 interviews with her, one on Diary of a CEO and one with Jay Shetty, and I will link them both in the description below. She is closer friends with Jay Shetty, and that is a 2.5-hour interview where, to me, watching both of them, it's the one with Jay Shetty that she seems most herself and a little more free in her communication. But they're both excellent interviews, and Jada just opened my heart so much listening to her story and what she does share in these interviews. And I think I will read her book next. Because, and it's said in these interviews too, we all have trauma and we all have pain of some kind that we're working through. In the interview with Jay Shetty, she talks about her family and her relationship with Will and her 3 children and how honest and raw she is with her family members, and how for her, this whole journey of having family is about growth. And the idea of romanticizing partners and family dynamics is not what it's all about. This is really what I see with this new moon, where Neptune squaring the moon and Jupiter. Neptune and Saturn together in Aries. Neptune is typically where we do see things through rose-colored glasses. We can have a fantasy of how things should be, what our actions should cause as far as cause and effect. But that's not always how it plays out. And we can become so disappointed in the illusion with Neptune. And that's what Saturn's here for, but Saturn's a pretty strict teacher, and that with these illusions being burst of what true love and unconditional love is, there can be a heaviness and a despondency to, well, what are we just here to suffer? Are we just here to experience heartbreak and fear and not feeling secure and safe in ourselves or with our families? And it's always about balance. I think she says that in her interview with on Diary of a CEO. It really is. When it comes to everything I learn about astrology, it is always about finding that balance. And so, yes, there is disappointment and heartbreak and pain and a sense that we can't trust anyone sometimes. It's through opening up those emotions that we develop a deep trust in ourselves. Such a deep trust in our inner world that we know that no matter what happens in life, we can find that place within. And even if it's just a few cozy minutes, I've been in the habit lately of doing this before I go to bed, just realizing that in this process of about to fall to sleep, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. And it's just so cozy. And even if I'm in pain, even if the day didn't go well, I have those few minutes before I drift off to sleep that this is all I need right now. And Cancer is that safety. So aside from this square and Jupiter here to expand our desire for family, our emotions potentially at the time of this moon, Venus is about to conjoin with Uranus, which is unexpected love, unexpected romance, pleasure, beauty. Money can have unexpected surprises. And there is beautiful energy with this configuration with Pluto, with Neptune and Saturn. Love and money could be here to stay. There could be things that are brewing and building at the time of this new moon that help us feel more secure in a lot of the earthly pleasure things, which is what Venus rules, as well as relationships. And those don't always come in the way that we expect. It's coming from a place where we know that we don't have any of those things, but that we can create it for ourselves. And that's the true security, because no one can then take it away if we can continue to just rebuild. This is a moment where sensitivity and love and security and taking action towards those things is going to be unique to all of us, but it's really going to stir things up. So be patient with yourself, be patient with others, and spend time thinking about what security really means to you and how can you create it, even if everything is taken away from us on the outside. No easy feat, but look at everything that happens around this new moon as little guides showing us the way, and we'll each put together our own personal story of what that means. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of the support that everyone has shown these videos, and so many of you chatting in the comments below, which is so fun. And especially to those that are just like, hey, this is for the algorithm. It is so appreciated. Every tiny bit of support means a ton. And I hope that this new moon is a wonderful part of the journey for you. And now let's get into your sign. Gemini, this is the second house new moon for you. So this has even more Venusian topics because this is classically the house of Taurus. So this is your values, your self-worth, what really matters to you with where you put your energy and how you spend your money, how you feed and nourish yourself as well. This is a wonderful transit to expand your energy, expand your resources. Money could come pouring in from unexpected places. But there is tension from your 11th house with this new journey of Saturn and Neptune, which means there could be some illusions from the communities that you're a part of. And that could be what creates a scenario where you need to recalibrate your values and where you spend your energy, maybe connected to community. Maybe you want to liberate yourself from false communities or from this sense of illusion or something that's fake with the communities that you're a part of. In doing this, you are supporting your own self-worth because that's the second house. Your self-worth could have been very influenced by your family and your upbringing. This is a moment where you're carving out something new for yourself that has nothing to do with the way that you were raised, or you're taking the bits and pieces of the way that you were raised and the ones that you want to keep, and you're creating still something new. And that evolution of how you view yourself and what you value, that could be changing your communities as well. You could start to see through things that maybe once felt like a fit, and now you're starting to see that you've actually changed, or the intentions that you have for yourself and your family and your inner world and your sense of security, they no longer match with the communities and networks that you've been a part of. You could have been acting more on instinct and impulse with the communities that you surround yourself with, and you're starting to see that that actually wasn't an authentic fit. This Venus conjoined Uranus is happening in your 12th house, and this could be a moment where there's something going on behind the scenes with money and assets, and you don't quite see it yet. There could be more unexpected romance behind closed doors. There could be more intuitive energy about resources, and you're starting to see that your intuitive sense about resources, it really is good insight, and you're going to start to follow that more, or you're just noticing how to listen to that intuitive voice that's coming through. Your psychological transformation and your desire to learn new things and expand your awareness of how the world works, those are ruled by Saturn for you and in the 11th house at the moment. So more of your learning is going to come from groups and networks that you're a part of. And your values could continue to change over the course of the year as you focus on your psychological transformation and expanding your own knowledge. It's through others that this happens. So this is another reason and another layer that you could be focusing a lot more on making sure that the communities and networks that you surround yourself with, even news and media, the internet, that is an important piece as well, that you want all of that to really reflect your values. So on this new moon, think about what matters to you when it comes to family, what matters to you when it comes to safety, security. What do you consider to really be secure and you can count on no matter what? And that's where you're going to want to put more energy in the year to come. So make a wish with its new moon in Cancer, and it's likely to manifest in 6 months' time when we have the full moon here. But for now, this is about intention setting, and this is about getting clear on those family values, who you call family, and what matters to you at a level of heart and safety and intuition. Thank you for being here, Gemini. Have a wonderful new moon. And if you would like to process more with a one-on-one reading with me, check out my link in the description below. Would love to see you there. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Cancer. Well, this is your new moon. So make a wish. Whatever you want to create for yourself this year, this is a wonderful time to go within, especially for you, read your emotions and figure out what it is that you want to put forth into your public image, into your career. That's where Saturn and Neptune are. They are lighting up with this new moon and Jupiter. We're also getting a sextile from Mars, which I didn't talk about in the intro, but for you, that's in your 3rd house, and it's the ruler of Aries in the 10th house where Saturn and Neptune are. So what this means is that there is some fire in your communication, and there's fire in what you want to do out in the world. There's a motivation for leadership and success and something to do maybe with spiritual expression and expansion, or putting structure to a spiritual role out in the world. This is creating a challenge for self, and this challenge is about feeling safe to really express who you are at an emotional level to the world. That is a scary thing, especially for Cancer. You still have Mercury in your sign, but not for much longer. That makes extra emphasis on the conversation and the pulse right now for everyone being about family-related things and what makes us feel emotionally safe. But first, there needs to be an expansion of that for us to know what it is that we want to look at and where we want to put our energy. This is a time with Jupiter in your sign where you can accomplish so much. It's not that it won't come without work and getting out of your comfort zone and stepping out of safety. But you are probably at a place where you know that you can step back into safety anytime you want. You're going to be feeling feisty with your communication, but you're going to have the right words and you're going to be able to express in a way that other people can hear you right now. If you do have any public speaking to do, if you have an audience, this is a wonderful time to get out there and get your word out, be seen, presentations, reaching an audience or expanding an audience. Venus is about to conjoin with Uranus in your 11th house. So you're about to get some unexpected upgrades with love, with money, connected to the communities that you're a part of, very likely, or your audience. And it could be that your audience is bringing you unexpected money. Being part of these groups is starting to have unexpected new places reached when it comes to what brings you pleasure and security. This is a wonderful time for those of you who are part of fashion and art. Exceptional time to focus on getting your art out there and seen, to be putting together fashion that really reaches the masses. And in a unique way, this is like stepping forward into something that's cutting edge, but received really well. And in places where it's not, there are a few of you where you could feel that your public image is under some sort of conflict right now. And it's really about becoming more transparent with Neptune and Saturn together in Aries in a way that is supportive and useful and helpful. This is energy where any illusions of leadership or authority, like having a sense of power and authority because you've created a false sense of your public image. That's the kind of thing that's going to get burst really quickly. You're going to have opportunities where you're going to see that authenticity is the only way forward. And that's where the transparency is of Neptune. It's an honesty of what's like at the base of the energy that you're conducting yourself from. And people are going to feel that. And that's what makes it less important about the words that we use, though that is very important. But the clothes that we wear and the mannerisms that we speak, well, mannerisms that we speak do come from the core of the energy. That's a direct reflection of often the energy that's going on inside. Everything will be guided more by an underlying true energy that you're speaking from, that you're reaching your goals from, that you're working towards. People are going to see that about you and respect it, and it's going to help you get to where you want to go. As far as family for you right now, Cancer, it looks like you're finding this in your bigger communities. That's Venus for you because your 4th house, which is the classic position for Cancer and family, is ruled by Venus. It's Libra for you. And that's in your 11th house with Uranus, which is an 11th house energy. So this is really emphasizing community for you right now. And you're probably feeling that. You're probably feeling that your family is the networks you're part of, that your sense of belonging has to do with having authentic connections that are really a match for the person that you're putting forth and that you're liberating yourself to be. The way that you're liberating yourself from the past family systems, the past constructs, and you're breaking the mold and you're stepping into something new and you're feeling a sense of safety from the communities of this newness that's unfolding. That really has been unfolding for quite some time with Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house. Since 2018, actually. And soon Uranus is about to go into your sign, and I'll talk about more of that in another video. For now, community and your leadership is the focus, and who you are as a person, how other people see you. It looks like you're stepping into some really big roles, and you're seeing how important the people that come with you are. If you want more information about this, I will link my Jupiter in Cancer video in the description below. That one is really applicable. There's also a whole 2025 playlist of all of the exciting transits that are happening this year. Thank you so much for being here, Cancer. Enjoy this new cycle. Have a wonderful birthday, and I will see you next time. Hi, Leo. This is the 12th house new moon for you. So this is the bigger truth. This is the underlying energy that connects us all. The house of Pisces. This is your intuition. This is a wonderful time to really connect with how you feel on the inside, how you're letting your feelings guide your choices. Maybe overseas places, overseas travel, rest, retreats, hospitals, prisons, everything that is separate from functioning in society and our day-to-day grind. It's a great time for rest before your birthday. This is a wonderful time to get really clear on what matters to you when it comes to your beliefs about the world, but doing it from connecting to source through you. It's not God or like out there. It is the truth that is deep within you that you can apply to the world and out there. So this square from the new moon and Jupiter is to your 9th house with Neptune and Saturn in Aries. And the 9th house is the Jupiter house. It's about expanding your knowledge and your awareness and leaping into new opportunities for the sake of figuring it all out from a place of inner experience and feeling. It's knowing that knowledge doesn't come from a textbook. It doesn't come from our parents telling us how the world works. It comes from figuring it out on our own because it's changing every day. We're all creating the future every single day that we make choices, that we change our beliefs from the ways that we adopted a sense of how things work from our families. Specifically talking about that because this is Cancer new moon. So this is a new beginning for what family and security and safety and home means to you. And it's not coming from the family that you were raised from. It's coming from you. It's coming from your sense of connection to God, to energy, to everything that is. And for some of you, this could just mean travel, overseas vacations for exploring and understanding new cultures. It's going to expand your mind, even if you're resting, if you're going on a retreat, if you're laid up and you can't leave the house because you have fallen ill and you need hospital care. Those are times where we have an opportunity for reflection that can really change our minds about what this world is all about. Venus and Uranus are conjoining in your 10th house. So this is unexpected public image stuff that has you being seen in a really wonderful light. It's a great time to get out there and be in a position of authority, leadership, working towards your goals. The stuff that you're connecting to with this new moon in your 12th house when it comes to your intuition and your sense of security, you could be showing this out in the world or teaching this in some way. And this is a moment where that's received really well. Intuition and guidance on your career trajectory could come out of nowhere, and it could lead you to somewhere sudden, unexpected, and really lovely position. Mars is in your 2nd house, which is where you're feeling really passionate about your values, your assets, your self-worth. This is on fire right now, and it's part of the forward momentum that's taking you on this 10th house career journey, or expanding your mindset, expanding your beliefs, maybe teaching, maybe getting a new teacher. Publishing or teaching or having a new teacher could be somehow shifting your subconscious awareness, and you might feel threatened by a teacher in the moment, but then you're realizing that cracks open something and expands your intuition and subconscious awareness into something that is a huge asset for you moving forward. You're going to find more of that in your new moon coming up in a month. But for now, a lot of this energy could be, or at least the motivation could be happening behind the scenes, and how you're seen out in the world is really going to be what's blessed from whatever other potentially conflicting energy shows up with your belief systems changing. Relationships could have a role in this too. So romantic partnerships, women in your life, just significant partnerships in general. There could be unexpected shifts with your status that happen as a result. But ultimately, this new moon in the 12th house is about expanding your connection to the subconscious, to your creativity, to your connection to God and energy and divine inspiration and rest and retreat and your ability to take that out into the world when the time is right. So look at any conflicts. Just always resort back to this subconscious energetic realm for right now, and know that it is creating beneficial energy for your public and career image. You might not see it all unfolding right away. So this is a moment of more internal energy, and looking back, especially in 6 months, I think you're going to see how important this moment was. Thank you so much for being here, Leo. If you would like a one-on-one reading with me, I will link that in the description below. It has been so much fun chatting with you in those one-on-one readings. The comments below. Always enjoy hearing what everyone's up to. Have a wonderful new moon cycle, Leo, and I will see you next time. Virgo, this is an 11th house new moon for you. So this is all about your networks, your community, your audience, and what are you liberating yourself from your family constructs, from the place that you were raised, your origin, your ancestors, your parents, your mother's side of the family, your mother's lineage, but mostly your inner security, the security that you find within yourself, and that's how you find the safe place out in the world with the community and networks that you surround yourself with. The square to Saturn and Neptune is in your 8th house. So this is psychological transformation. This is a death and a rebirth of a part of yourself that is holding you back from bonding with others in a deeper, more authentic way. And probably for Virgos, it's about getting your needs met and following your impulse and your desires. What's holding you back from that Aries energy of moving towards what you want in life? Mars is in your side now, so you are going to be feeling this fire even more, this desire to act towards things. And it could be subconscious desires that are highlighted right now. That's a big part of the 8th house, is that Pluto subconscious desire energy that drives our motivations. Your motivations could be changing, but you're going to have this very positive Mars energy that's sextiling the new moon, that's motivating you to create community that matters to you, to create community that feels like family. This is definitely a time where long-held wishes could come true for a lot of Virgos. You have all year for that because Jupiter is going to be in your 11th house all the way up until the end of June of 2026. But this is a moment where something buds, something starts that is deeply transformative for you. Venus-Uranus conjunction is happening in your 9th house. So unexpected new ideas, ways of viewing the world are being uplifted. This could be teachers in your life. This could be relationships and females in your life that are coming in as teachers. And they are playing a beautiful role of vibration in this particular new moon configuration. Venus and Uranus are in sextile to Neptune and Saturn in your 8th house. So it's the things that you are learning. It's the way that you're expanding your mind that is creating a shift for this death and rebirth of your psyche and subconscious, healing trauma, psychological reversals that are opening up space for deeper intimacy and support from other people. Under this Cancer new moon, we are going to be reminded that we need family and community, especially for Virgos because it's in your 11th house of community. And Virgos tend to be a pretty independent sign. They can walk alone a lot of the time in service and just in the routine of getting things done and being on a mission and always helping others. But there needs to be a network and an organic, interconnected system that feeds energy that goes around. We can't have energy that just goes out and off into nowhere without receiving and giving and having that spiral, circular form happen. This is a wonderful month to get done whatever you want to do, especially if it involves a community or an audience. Your energy is going to be there with Mars in your sign. The people that are here to receive your message are going to be there and listening. And your knowledge has the opportunity to be received really well. You have the opportunity here with Venus and Uranus in your 9th house to have breakthroughs with your beliefs and the way that you see the world. And beautiful breakthroughs at that, with Venus involved. Venus is the ruler of your 9th house and of your 2nd house. So your values and your beliefs are all tied into this, and they are here for an upgrade. This is a burst of energy that's evolving and ready for something new. Lots of ways this could play out, Virgo, but this is about your networks and community. This is about planting the seeds for how family shows up for you in different ways. It's not likely about your immediate family, but it could be. It's likely about the communities that you've connected to that feel like family and probably matter to you a lot like family. And there's a level of nurturing that you have to offer in these systems as well. And hopefully an interconnected space of nurturing where you feel nurtured by others at the same time. I love that Mars is in a beautiful angle for Virgos, because Mars typically in the 1st house, and you still might get a dose of this, it is a recipe for moving too quickly, maybe having cuts on your fingers, stubbing your toe. So be cautious, but use this energy for whatever you want, because it's giving you motivation, inspiration. It's a dose of adrenaline, but it is in positive connection to other things that are going on in the sky. And it is especially giving emphasis on this psychological transformation that you're going through, that whatever changes you make right now to your psychological healing, that's really changing who you are as a person and how you show up in this world and how other people see you. You let me know how this is going for you, Virgo. It is always so much fun to hear from you in the comments below. If you would like more time with me, check out my one-on-one Zoom reading sessions. It is so much fun getting to know you guys a little bit better there. Have a wonderful new moon, Virgo. I will see you next time. Libra. This is a 10th house new moon for you. So this is a brand new beginning at the top of your chart. You are one of the signs that this is hitting the cardinal cross, especially for Libras with early degree placements around the first 5, 6, 10 degrees even of Libra. You might find that there are more physical and drastic ways that this shows up. Not drastic, but that are tangible and visible and apparent. When aspects happen that are softer to our personal placements or our chart, then changes still occur, but they are less noticeable. So with the 10th house, Jupiter here is the ruler of your 3rd house and your 6th house. So this is all about work, your voice, your media, the clerical things that you do every day, the way that you use your mind, and how you put that out into the world. This is healing and expansive energy. So any career trajectory that you are on is getting a boost of new ideas, momentum. You have the power to really put things into action and to be seen for all of the work that you have been doing. This is the time when new work come to you. This is a time where you could have a new idea that you want to bring forth into the world. And you are prepared to follow the steps to get there. The steps are going to expand as you start to take this journey. But with Jupiter, that is an expansion that you're willing to take on, and it's a healthy expansion. It also will ebb and flow with it being in a moon-ruled sign like Cancer. So be prepared for that this is a moment where you're going to start to see something new, maybe planting the seeds, a new idea. As this grows over the next 6 months, when we get our Cancer full moon in 6 months, you are going to feel this waxing and waning like the moon of whatever project you're working on. Mars is in sextile to this moon from your 12th house, which means your intuition is sharp. You could be following overseas work. You could be taking more time to rest. But for a lot of people, there's going to be an energetic inspiration that is fueling the career sector, that is fueling your leadership and your authority in the field that you're in, and just the steps towards your process that you're taking. 7th and 8th house is lit up. The 8th house is where Venus and Uranus are having their conjunction. This is lovely energy for your psychological transformation when it comes to working with other people. You're at a place where you could be reaching the next level of what partnership and merging and using other people's resources really means. You could have unexpected support and resources come through, or you could just have a psychological reversal and transformation that feels like it comes out of nowhere, but it really uplifts your perspective, your ability to enjoy what you're doing when it comes to connecting with others. And it could just be money, unexpected resources with Venus in Taurus in your 8th house. Uranus is also one of the planets that is in this ongoing magic triangle that we have this year and next year. So this Venus-Uranus conjunction is happening with a trine from Pluto and a sextile from Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house. This magic triangle could very well mean that fun, romance, dating, career, relationships, partnerships, bonding, merging, all of these things are being lit up in this moment. But this also has a creative prospect. It can show up many different ways, but this is about other people helping you tap into your unique, authentic, creative expression. And that happens in dating. That happens with partners. It's through others that are the mirror to ourselves that we grow, that we learn who we are in deeper ways. We can do some of that on our own, but a lot of that comes from processing and reflecting on our interactions with others. Jupiter is in square with Neptune and Saturn in your 7th house. So though this is the tip of the magic triangle, and this is in beautiful connection to your psychological transformation and romance and creativity and pleasure, potentially dating and creative expression, there's something about partnership, another person, and your career that is creating friction, tension, maybe even just really quick action with Jupiter, because Jupiter is a beneficial planet, but a square can be tension and uncomfortable friction. Even if uncomfortable friction shows up, it's going to benefit you overall, especially your career, the things you're working towards, your public image, all of that 10th house visibility stuff. When it's Saturn and Neptune, we're looking at areas where we're grounding, getting clarity to that which is sometimes intangible. Things that we need to dissolve with old structures could be dissolved when it comes to partnerships. But at the same time, in that dissolving of old ways of partnerships, there is something that needs to take form that is still from this deeper energetic space, or this deeper energetic truth in how you connect with yourself and how you connect with other people. And that's Pluto in your 5th house. Your transformation of authentic creative expression is a big part of the energy at the time of this new moon. But it all points to career. It all points to who you are in the public, what you're working towards, what you want to break down as far as old family constructs. Are you afraid of visibility with your family upbringing or your ancestral line? Were you taught that there's shame in taking center stage, or that you shouldn't work towards certain goals and achievements and positions of leadership? Those are the types of things that have the opportunity to shift at this new moon. And it really starts with a dream, a thought. It could be with Neptune and Saturn square to Jupiter. It could be a dream that people told you you couldn't do. You're realizing that you don't have to buy into that. You can create your own outcome by shifting the energy that you're working towards things with. If you're working towards something with this background noise of fear and doubt and no one makes it anyway, but you keep blocking that out. You're just like, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm just going to push past it. There's still that vibration underneath that's running the show. So this is a moment where you're taking the time to ride that emotional wave, to listen to those fears and reorganize that energy. This is like a shapeshifter energy where you're not masking the old, but you're transforming it into something that is in alignment with the career and relationship partnership goals that you have. I would say, Libra, this is a strong energy for believing your intuition, believing in yourself, and knowing that you have the power to transform a lot of the old and create what you want. It might sound a little cheesy, but this sky really speaks to that. So I hope that you are having a wonderful new moon, Libra. Let me know how things are going in the comments below. Always so much fun to hear from you there. And for the one-on-one Zoom readings, I will link that in the description below, as well as my 2025 playlists and Jupiter in Cancer, especially that most recent video if you want to hear more about how this is going to show up for you. But the best is always a personal reading, so join me for that if you feel called to. And have a wonderful new moon. Just thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Scorpio, this is a 9th house new moon for you. So this is all about your mindset, but it's your higher perspective of the world. This is the eagle eye view. This is understanding how things work from a spiritual perspective, from an all-encompassing perspective. This is exploration and experimentation for yourself, where you get to really feel things out. And it's through walking through an experience that is brand new, that there are unknown things, that you gain new knowledge. So this can be actual education. Academia is covered in the 9th house, becoming a teacher yourself, having a new teacher. And with the new moon, sometimes we don't realize the impact that a new person coming into our lives as a teacher can have. So if you don't notice anything right now, check back in 6 months and look back over the 6 months and see what knowledge you've gained, which teachers have shown up that, maybe your neighbor just says something offhand, or a friend mentions a book that leads you down a seeking path, and life shifts. When your perspective shifts, this is that kind of energy. There is tension coming from your daily habits, though, the work that you do, your routines, the service that you give out into the world. And this is health. This is your health. This is how you organize your time and work, if you have employees, or if this is just daily work. So with Saturn and Neptune here in square to Jupiter, and this new moon in your 9th house, the tension is about seeing something that was an illusion before when it comes to work and routine. If you have been dissociating from responsibility, this is where Saturn will come in, and any Neptunian qualities of intoxication or chasing rose-colored glasses dreams that are not grounded in reality. Saturn's going to shake things up and help you see the bigger picture here. And it's going to be healing. Sometimes we don't even realize when we're dissociating. Any intoxicants that take us out of our natural state, they can also be quite normal. There are many, like alcohol, that is quite normal in society. And there are some that are within that healthy range when we take herbal medications or teas. We take medications that we truly need. I'm really splitting hairs here. This house where Neptune and Saturn are for you is the 6th house of Virgo, which is splitting hairs. This is where you really refine something that maybe seemed so normal. You're realizing you can align to something that's more natural, more you. And it's not easy at first, but there's a leveling out that happens afterwards that's well worth it. Especially when it comes to changing routines, we call them habits for a reason. It's a ritual. It's something that we are habituated to. Even healthy things can get out of hand with not really thinking about how it serves us and just doing it for the sake of doing it. So this is one of those moments. It has the opportunity to completely transform your support from other people, your 8th house things, so psychological reversals. This is where Uranus and Venus are conjoining in your 8th house. So this is a lovely moment of surprise. It could be with money, relationships, but there is an element of leveling up in a psychological way. There's a psychological shift that's going to happen for you, and the benefit could be deeper bonds and better financial support. But it comes from shifting something in your psyche. And this is shapeshifter energy. This is a light bulb moment where you start to see the bigger picture of something. You're changing your daily routines, the work that you do, the way that you manage your life, and the service that you provide in the world. And that's going to pay off with psychological health, better connection, potentially more money and support from other people. Jupiter in Cancer is the ruler of your 2nd and your 5th house in Cancer. So that means that your resources, your self-worth, your creative self-expression, you've been going through so much 5th house stuff. I think I've been saying that in every video, but this phase of really expanding who you are as a creative individual is big for Scorpios, and your self-worth is changing with this Jupiter in Cancer moment too, especially this new moon. This is a moment where not just how you value yourself, but the things that you value in life become the focus, and they become the way that you are going to materialize more of what you want, more of what you need, less of waste on what you don't, and abundance comes from that. This Venus-Uranus conjunction is happening in your 7th house of partnerships. Transformation of your inner world. This could be a moment of elevation of psychic energy because Venus is the ruler of your 12th house as well as the 7th. So your ability to rest, retreat, expand your psychic information, this comes from partnerships for you. And it could be that there are partnerships overseas that are part of this story. It's transforming your inner world. That's where Uranus is the ruler of your 4th house, so home, inner world, and the connection to conscious, constant liberation of old constructs and stepping into the bold new arena. But that's the evolutionary process. That is stepping into an intuitive process when you're stepping into things that have not been done before, when you're breaking the mold of where you came from. And so 4th house energy is amplified. This Uranus-Venus conjunction in your 7th house are the rulers of your 4th, 12th, and 7th. Those houses represent change for you. Right? This is a Uranian moment of combining Uranus and Venus, which is about breaking the mold with relationships, breaking the mold with what is comfortable, stable, reliable, what has been done before, into something new, and that's going to give you more Venusian benefits down the road. But to bring it back to this new moon, this is ultimately about experimentation, leaping into the unknown for the sake of discovery, for the sake of discovering something new and trusting that you can launch yourself into uncharted territory and never been done before experiences and come out on top. Your partnerships are going to be game for that with Uranus and Venus in your 7th house. Your 6th house with this square to Saturn and Neptune is up for remodeling anyway. You want to remodel your daily habits and the way that you operate in this world. So why not throw yourself into some radical change? This won't be for everyone, but for those of you who are just like pondering the edge, this is a moment where you could take a leap of faith and trust that there is going to be an ebb and flow to this process. It's not going to be straightforward or black and white, but that's part of the fun. That is part of life. That is part of living to the fullest, and that involves taking risks sometimes. But with Jupiter in your 9th house, this risk is going to expand your horizons. This is a moment where you start to see a new opportunity that way. Mars in your 11th house, sextiling this moon, the people are going to be there to help this process through. You're going to be focused on network expansion. And this is also a house of liberation from past constructs. So you can be breaking the mold when it comes to your networks as well. And that's part of the story that's happening here. There's a lot of overlap for you. And this ultimately has to do with fearlessly going where people have not gone before, feeling confident in, and maybe even almost bored with the place you've been and the structure you've been holding on to, and knowing that it's no matter what the risk is, it's time to let go and figure out the new path forward, probably with a partner, maybe with work people. Maybe your work and daily habits. There's something that's shifting and creating part of this desire for change, but you're ready to leap. And I can't wait to hear what's going on for Scorpios. Let me know how this is playing out for you in the comments below. And it's always so much fun with the one-on-one Zoom calls. So reach out if you feel called to book a reading with me. But mostly, thank you so much for being here. It is so much fun chatting with you. Have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time. Sagittarius, this is an 8th house new moon for you. This is a brand new beginning when it comes to psychological transformation. Jupiter here is such a wonderful omen of big reversals in your life. This is Phoenix rising from the ashes energy. This is massive support from other people. You could feel the financial support expand, emotional support, the amount of people that just show up in a nurturing capacity for you and help you along the way in whatever you're working on. There's an element here of friction when it comes to the square with Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house. Jupiter is your ruler. This could have to do with more about your body and mind than just the mind, as it is sometimes in the 8th house. Saturn and Neptune are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th house. So your values, your communication, your inner world, are you really expressing what you truly value when it comes to children, creativity, fun, really being able to be yourself? Connecting to that childlike essence and joy again. With this kind of energy, if you do have children, there could be something with your children that shows up that helps you see things differently and transform at an energetic level, psychologically heal. If you don't have children, then some of this could show up in more subtle subconscious energy. Questions to focus on are going to be around, are you expressing what you value? Are you putting what you value into media? And are you watching and absorbing the type of media that aligns with your values? Because this is what's going to change your inner world, your home, your ability to break free from old constructs of home and family lineage and the way that you were raised or the way that people just operated in the place that you grew up. There's an opportunity here for big shifts over this next year with Jupiter in your 8th house all the way to the end of June of 2026. But this is a moment where something happens with your creative self-expression or with children or with your ability to have fun that makes you pay attention. It's going to be through reworking your communication and connection to media. Maybe your connection to your neighbors. Short distance travel is covered in the 3rd house, which is Saturn house for you. And Saturn is an energy of slow pace, of discipline, of structure, of doing step by step the right thing to move in the right direction. And it's based on how things have been done historically. But in the 5th house, you have Aries, and you want to leap quickly. You want to move towards fun. You're a Sag. That's what Sagittarians do. There's a sense of not being too concerned with the repercussions. In all fire signs, there is a flame that needs to burn, and it can spontaneously erupt, and it can grow and expand really quickly. But a square from the water sign where Jupiter is and where this new moon is a reminder of the ebb and flow of the responsibility of the emotional world that we live in, and that you are part of as well, especially with your subconscious emotional work that you're doing. This could be a time where emotions come to the surface, and it helps you realize ways that you can readjust to get back on track with what really matters, with your creative self-expression, with joy, with your children, with the ways that you have fun and that you flirt, and that you just feel infatuated with life again. But if you don't feel that in this moment, that's completely part of the process, because Saturn is going to want to slow down this fifth house energy so we can take a really solid look at it. Or with Jupiter square, you could have situations where you subconsciously overdo things, and that is a reality check that Saturn can bring up, but we need to go into that overdoing energy, and Jupiter in Cancer can do that. We can get caught up in emotion and in the 8th house, subconscious emotion, and realize that we've gone too far, and Saturn's here to reality check that and bring things back into a process that's supportive and helpful in the long term. Ultimately, this has to do with fun. Even if there's something that is wonky in this 8th house, 5th house energy, it is ultimately going to help you feel more connected to what is authentic fun and joy for you. And play. Venus and Uranus are conjoining in your 6th house. So this is unexpected health shifts, very likely with Venus in Taurus and Uranus. It could be work and routines and the service out in the world, especially if it's related to 3rd house topics, which Uranus is the ruler of your 3rd house, where Pluto is. So you could be revising media with work and revising expression and writing material, and that's going really well. This is a moment of positive transformation and bursting forward there. Venus is also the ruler of your 11th house, so this could very well be media related, and the 11th house is the classic position for Uranus and Aquarius energy too. So you could be really breaking the mold of the way that media and expression has been done in the work and service that you do. And this is an exciting moment of change there. So this would be a time where if you're about to take a leap into something that is not based on how things have been done, go for it. Venus is here to support you. Uranus can have unexpected benefit, and this could be health or work or habits or routines or any of those things. And that often has a transformational energy on our subconscious and the 8th house topics of reversals and healing trauma and resources from other people. You might have the money coming in to support changes in media and changes of work. So if you've been waiting on that, this is a moment of positive change there. But they could want to control your creative expression. That could be this square to Saturn and Neptune. If it is about other people's resources and business, then somebody might be trying to have their hand in what your creative expression is with your work. That's going to show up differently for everyone, of course, but these are some of the ways that I see it expressing. And if you would like to know more, it is so much fun meeting with you on one-on-one Zoom calls and seeing who's on the other side of this camera, as well as chatting in the comments below. Love interacting with you there. But thank you just for being here and watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful new moon in Cancer, and I will see you next time. Capricorn, this is a partnership new moon for you. This is a really potent energy, especially for Capricorns from 0 to 7 degrees around there. but all Capricorns are going to feel this when it comes to significant people in your life. And home. Neptune and Saturn are in your fourth house of home, inner world, and they are in square to this new moon. So there could be something with partnership or a significant other person that is beautiful. It's healing with Jupiter here. It's expansive and it's changing your life, but it could be shifting your inner world and your home life in ways that feel uncomfortable. Or it could just be really sudden. This is a moment with Neptune and Saturn, which Saturn is your ruler. So this has to do with your first house, your second house, your third house. This is values, communication, who you are in this world and how you express that energy, especially with other people, significant partnerships in your life. That's what's being called into new action with this new moon. It's going to be different for everyone, of course, but this Jupiter piece is expansive and healing. So any wounds that you've been focusing on healing when it comes to connection with others, when it comes to how you listen and how you balance energy with other people, that's what's really in question when we're talking about the first house and the seventh house. And other people are the mirrors for us. The moon is a mirror. It reflects the sun. And that's what we're experiencing on the Capricorn Cancer axis, especially during a new moon, even more in 6 months when we have the full moon and the moon is actually reflecting the sun. But this new cycle in Cancer is significant. New partner could come into your life that really shifts your world internally, externally. There could be changes with mother and ancestors on your mother's side of the family. If there's friction, it's ultimately creating change in this part of your life. But the friction part we don't always like. It makes us look at things differently. It makes us sometimes create quick change, which is that Aries energy where Neptune and Saturn are. Saturn likes slow change, but in the house of Aries, there's going to be more requirements of Saturn to keep up the pace. Venus and Uranus are in your fifth house. This is beautiful for unexpected romance. Things could be going really well for your children right now. You could have unexpected shifts or money as a result of your creative expression. You could just be having more fun in unexpected ways. Venus is also the ruler of your 10th house, as well as the 5th house where Venus is right now with Uranus. So public image and the career goals that you're working towards, the way that you are breaking through the way things have been done in the past. This looks like a moment where a lot of positive things could shift and for the better. So if something is uncomfortable right now with partnerships or with home, know that it is going to improve and Jupiter's by your side. Jupiter is also the ruler of your 12th house. So overseas travel or time out could be part of this. This is also an energy where you're tuning into energy. You're tuning into your intuition and the energy that connects all things. This is a very spiritual energy for you with Jupiter is a spiritual planet, but you have Sagittarius in the 12th house, which is the Pisces house. So this is even more so about the energy behind everything. And Sagittarius is about putting it into something that makes sense through experience, through the tangible world. There's a lot of opportunity for spiritual healing with a new moon like this for you, Capricorn. And the benefit is going to be relationships, more fun, more creative joy, potentially overseas energy, new beginnings and partnerships overall though, and how it transforms your inner world. Mars is in your 9th house, sending beautiful sextile energy to this new moon. So this is motivation for expanding your mind, expanding your spiritual experiences, expanding knowledge through pilgrimage and adventure. This is also a foreign places, foreign people house. So there's a few ways that travel could be lit up for Capricorns. But really, it is about expanding your knowledge base and expanding your perspective of the world to take on new form and new energy. We are meant to adopt knowledge from the past as far as it creates a secure foundation, but that secure foundation is to launch off into new experiences, not just to stay in the secure foundation. That's something that is not innate to Capricorns. Capricorns are the secure foundation. They are that they are the structure that's steady and long lasting and takes a long time to build, because they know that the longer you take and the better job you do, the longer it's going to last. So depending on people's personal placements, Capricorn doesn't naturally appreciate the crumble to just throw it all away, throw away all that hard work to leap into something that is more Jupiter, which is unpredictable. It doesn't care that it's unpredictable. Uranus is really the unpredictable planet, but Jupiter is the one that is willing to take on the challenge of unpredictability. It is willing to leap into the unknown and trust that Neptune, the faith, is going to catch it. But it's for the sake of growth when it comes to Jupiter. It's for the sake of expansion. And what is the point of life if we don't grow and expand? If we stay the same in that secure, solid place, we never get to fill the rest of space with creativity. And that's what's shifting with this Jupiter new moon in your partnership house. Maybe someone's going to come into your world that's going to show you that there's more room for creation and more room for expansion with another, more room for adventure. And certainly unexpected play and joy and creativity. I love this energy for Capricorns. If you're working on anything creative, this is a time to throw yourself into it. And at the time of this new moon, at the very least, spend some meditation prayer time and get in touch with what really matters to you at a heart creative level. What makes your heart expand when you think about creativity. And that's the direction to follow with this burst of Jupiter support that you're getting. And just see what plays out. But with Mars in your ninth house, there will be that element of expanding your horizons. And it's a very Jupiter focused journey for you, Capricorn. And your Saturn placement right now, with Saturn in your fourth house, your ruler, could be digging in its heels. If that's the case, take space for both. Take space to nurture and be with that part of yourself that doesn't want to change and that wants to hold on to structure and security and what's stable in the home life. And at the same time, where that middle ground is for what needs expansion and what needs new and exciting adventures. And of course, if you would like to process that with your personal birth chart, I do one-on-one Zoom readings and would love to see you there. I love hearing from you in the comments. It is just so much fun chatting astrology with you. So thank you for being here and supporting this channel. It means so much. It really does. And have a wonderful new moon, Capricorn. I will see you next time. Aquarius. This is the 6th house new moon for you. This is all about work, routine, daily habits. You have a wonderful opportunity here to really improve on health and health habits, work routines. Just really get it dialed in, and in a way that works with the ebb and flow, like Cancer. There's going to be a waxing and waning of routines and work and health. And it's when we can work with that constant flux that our habits are best served and that our routines really work. When we become too fixed, like this square to Saturn, when our habits are too crystallized, it is then that we struggle to deal with the reality of the messiness of life, the unpredictable waxing and waning of life cycles. The square to Neptune and Saturn in your third house is about communication and media. It's about expression and really getting out what matters to you. There could be an element where you have been too impulsive or not thinking things through with the Aries third house there. If you are in media or just whatever you're putting out into the world, communication wise as well, if it doesn't meet people where they're at, it doesn't serve its purpose. So as wonderful as radical new ideas can be, there needs to be a bit of a happy medium where the new meets the old, or the new meets what people are ready for. And there has to be some preparation and planning to it. That's what Saturn is asking for. So with Jupiter and this new moon in your 6th house, you could be overwhelmed with new ideas and creative inspiration. You could be riding more emotional waves, and that's feeding into these ideas. But Saturn in Aries wants your actions to be practical when it comes to what you put out there. When it comes to how your mind works, how your daily thoughts support your work. Saturn could highlight where you're being too hard on yourself, or where you're not putting enough discipline into your routine and the service that you provide. Mars in your 8th house is in lovely sextile to this new moon, so you are getting subconscious guidance, most likely, to the action that you're taking. You could be getting support from other people, financial, emotional. Mars in Virgo is going to be about the diligence required for the psychological transformation. But you're ready to take action. And you're ready to take action to get the resources from other people that you need as well, if that's where this is going, because the 8th house covers so many things. It is going to cover resources from others, shared resources, support from other people, intimate bonds, psychological transformation, but it's getting into the depths of things. And even if it shows up in a financial way, there's still going to be an energetic piece where you're focusing on the depths of shadow work for yourself. Venus conjoining your ruler in your 4th house. This is lovely energy for being seen. This is lovely energy for your inner world because it's in your 4th house. Relationships could be transforming inner energy, or your home life could be transforming and breaking free of old constructs from family and the way things have been done with home. And now you have an opportunity to flourish into something new with a romantic partner, or just enjoy more beauty at home, more pleasure. This is a time where you could renovate your home, and a wonderful opportunity to bring in new things that reflect who you are and make your home a reflection of your energy. Ultimately, this is about new work and routines, though, new habits, and it's through online ideas, perhaps, that you get this motivation to take new action. You could be using online platforms to support your efficiency right now. It would be a great time to seek something like that out. It could create some really quick changes to your routines and health habits. So this is a time where the media that you produce, the thoughts that you put out into the world, your writing, and the media that you take in are important pieces to your health and your routine. It could be an idea that comes to you that creates really quick changes here for your routines. This is an energy as well where work opportunities could be coming in, and you could be having an abundance of work to do. Because of the square to the 3rd house, this could mean short distance travel that is challenging as a result of more work, or you're needing to strategize and put new inspirational material into something practical, and there's a challenge in the work that you're doing. But it's overcoming this challenge that is what creates this healing and expansion with Jupiter in your 6th house. And again, that's routines or your own health or just the work that you're producing. There's an opportunity for quick change and transformation with your communication, with your media. You're going to be inspired by the support and resources from other people and your own psychological transformation and your inner life, your home life with the beauty and pleasure and security that you find there with Venus there right now. There's also Venus is the ruler of your ninth house, and it's through home and security that you expand your ideas right now. So home and media potentially, but keep an eye out for that. Give yourself lots of downtime and safety, security, rest time where you need it, because you are going to be breaking more molds and you need that back and forth to have a safe place to retreat and then have a burst forth into new territory and then retreat again to make sure that all of the pieces are in the right place. When we're going off into new territory and we're expanding into new things when it comes to work and routine, we cannot just go full throttle the whole time, which is what Mars would like us to do sometimes. But that's why the astrology has natural ebbs and flows. There are times to retreat and times to move forward. So don't feel too frustrated if you're feeling a retreat time. Embrace it and embrace the new changes coming up with work and routine as well. Lots of ways this could play out, and would love to hear how this is showing up for you, Aquarius. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments. And if this feels like a lot and you want to process with your personal birth chart, which can add more clarity, the link to booking on my website is in the description below. But thank you for just being here and checking out this video. Have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time. Pisces. This is a 5th house new moon for you. So this is about your creative self-expression, your true, authentic joy, that part of you that is really aligned with who you are as a creative human being and wanting to shine and be seen. This is where love and play and true love and romance and dating can be found. This is the infatuation stage. But there's a square with Neptune and Saturn in your 2nd house. This is a tension based on fun, creativity, maybe children, that is challenging your values, where you spend your energy, where you spend your money, the way that you nourish your body. And Neptune is your ruler. So having a conjunction with Saturn is a time where you're still going through this. You've had Saturn in your sign for 3 years, and now it's conjoined your ruler in your 2nd house. So this is still about refining that self energy, that your body, how you exchange energy with other people is how I see the 2nd house. Pisces know this more than any other sign, that we are all energy at the source and that connects us all. And there are these invisible worlds that are more real than the world we live in. And it's that world that our intention needs to be connected to. So you're redeveloping your relationship to yourself through energetic connection, but you're now putting it into secure, crystallized material form. And as your values are crystallizing with Saturn here, it might be at odds with how you play. It might be at odds with how you creatively express yourself. And that's the thing with change, is that as we change one part of our life, a conflict can arise in another area that needs to adjust to follow the change that's been made. So this is one of those moments. But Jupiter is here, which is your traditional ruler. This is a wonderful energy of expansion and healing. So you're going to have more things that bring you fun and joy. You're going to have more children, if that's part of your story. You're going to have more play, more time to creatively express. You're going to be prioritizing these things, and it will ebb and flow. So overall, you're getting growth in this part of your life for the next year. But there's going to be an ebb and flow as Jupiter is in a moon sign. And that energy waxes and wanes, and you're going to just ride those waves. Partnerships are part of this for you in a really positive way. You're motivated to move towards partnerships, to do the work in partnerships, to be effective and to be of service to other people. That is Mars in Virgo in your partnership sign, and it is bringing harmonious sextile energy to this new moon. So you're probably finding that it's through having more fun that your partnerships flourish. And that is a nice energy, in that the work that you're doing on partnerships could be the goal of having more fun and being more authentically you, as well as allowing your partner to do the same. But what better way to work than to make work play, or to have play become your work? Venus and Uranus are conjoining in your third house, which is an energy of uplifting communication. You're breaking the mold of what's been done. You're not playing it safe with communication right now, and it's paying off. Venus is the ruler of your eighth house as well. So other people's resources, psychological transformation, but this is deep bonding with your partner and listening to your partner because of this Uranus-Venus conjunction in your third house. And you're willing to take bold new leaps in the way that you express and the way that you listen. And that's probably what's bringing more fun into your relationships and creating this momentum of wanting to work with your partner on whatever is going on for each of you. Where this conflict is with the square and your second house of Saturn and Neptune to the fifth house of fun in this new moon, it could be that any tension around where your values don't mesh, that's where you see that there's an opportunity for change. And that's where you get even more in touch with what really matters and how much energy that you can dedicate to fun and play. You've been feeling overly impulsive with the money that you spend or the ways that you eat and nourish your body. This is a recalibration time, and that could temporarily be shifting how you have fun. But it's ultimately going to bring more options for joy and play that align with your new trajectory of how you're going to spend your resources and how you're going to nourish your body with more energy. So if you feel a temporary glitch or friction, don't fret. Jupiter in your fifth house is the most fun transit you can have. So there's not going to be a shortage of opportunity to play and enjoy yourself and feel like a carefree child again. If you have children, there could be a lot going on with your children. There could be just more focus on your children and connecting with them. So that brings you more play. You could be having more children, some of you. And maybe those investments in your children are causing more friction on your values and your assets. So many ways it could play out, but really such a wonderful journey to have and a wonderful new beginning that's happening right now with Jupiter enhancing this part of your chart. If you want more information on this Jupiter journey in your fifth house, check out my Jupiter in Cancer video. I will also link my 2025 playlist. And check out a one-on-one Zoom reading with me. It is so much fun chatting with you there, and you can get to know your chart better, as well as in the comments below. But really, thank you for just being here and watching this video, and have a wonderful new moon. I will see you next time. Aries, nothing speaks home and family more about this new moon than for you, because this falls in your fourth house of home and family. And Jupiter here is the ruler of your ninth house and your 12th. There's a lot of overlap where it comes to your intuitive, subconscious beliefs, your actual beliefs and experiences in the world, and how that connects and contributes to what you're doing with home and family. You have Saturn and Neptune in your sign. And so I want to hear from all Aries out there. Let me know how this is feeling to have Saturn in Aries now with Neptune. That there's an element of needing to restructure who you are. That there's an element where any type of escapism or rose-colored glasses is up for revision. And it's changing how you act in the world. It's changing how you take action. A lot of Aries out there could be feeling more contemplative, trying to figure out and analyze self in ways that maybe you're not as familiar with. You're used to working, you're used to experimenting. And experimenting is just launching in and seeing what the reaction is, not necessarily processing it first. Something to do with the expansion of your home, the healing of your home, the attention that you're putting on your inner world, expanding your inner world, getting in touch with who you really are. Who are you as a result of your upbringing? as a result of your family and the place that you came from? And who are you as a result of the choices that you're making? And how are those things coming together? Right now, you could feel that there are some conflicts, so that things are at odds with the way that you were raised, the way that you want your family and home life to be, and the actions that you have been taking. But this is a moment where you're shifting that due to some tension between these two worlds. Your values are up for radical, surprising, maybe even change when it comes to money, partnerships, listening to your partner, your assets and your security. This Venus-Uranus conjunction in your second house is very much speaking to the stability that you feel in the world and how you value stability. And that's shining a nice light on your home as well as you. This is energy that is supportive with these sextiles from Uranus to Saturn and Neptune in your sign, and to this new moon, and to Pluto and kind of this new moon. But there is this tension between home and self at the moment, it doesn't mean that it's challenging tension. It means that there's something that's catching your eye. Jupiter is always an expansive and healing energy. So no matter what shows up, your home is up for that quality. Your family members could be expanding. Your sense of purpose in home could be expanding. Mars is in your 6th house of Virgo. So hard work and organization, and you're on a mission for service and probably more discipline when it comes to the organization part. You're just ready to get work done. You're ready to refine your routines. And that's paying off well for your home life. Maybe you're just doing more chores around home, and that motivation to create a system within the home is really paying off and creating a lovely home environment, cleaning things up, healing things. And that could be what's changing with Saturn in your sign, is that you're seeing the value of slow and steady and putting in the work, and what that can accomplish in the long term, and how long-term goals matter. And that all fits really well with your ruler being so focused on Virgo-like tasks right now in the 6th house, and Saturn newly in your sign. And whatever it is that you're working on, it's benefiting this new journey and home for you. It's benefiting your assets. It's benefiting the value that you place on yourself. That's the thing with hard work, is that there's a sense of pride and satisfaction in getting things done and accomplishing things, especially long-term goals and tasks. And we start to see that the benefit of the more that we work and the longer the task takes, the more complicated, the bigger the gain. And that when we're working, and compared to when we're acting in the moment and acting on desire and impulse, like Mars tends to do, the gains sometimes shorter lasting. Sometimes there are consequences. This is a time for long-term plans. And Jupiter is going to make sure that you get all the benefits and luck with whatever you're planning over the next year with Jupiter in your 4th house of home. Even though Jupiter is square to your ascendant, this is still positive energy. It just means that things can happen quickly and abruptly, like in a Mars-like way. But it's acting on Saturn. So it's still that longevity and that long-term plans that you're making. But there's excitement and motivation, and there's expansion maybe on those plans. Maybe you have long-term plans and they're starting to grow. And what was maybe a 1 year, a 2 year is becoming a 5 year, and there's just a lot of work, maybe even for your 1 year plan. But this is not a moment where you're afraid of the work. This is a moment where you're embracing it and you're seeing that it's really going to pay off in home and assets and values, which are great parts of your chart to be lit up. You let me know how this is going for you, Aries. I always love chatting with you in the comments and doing one-on-one Zoom readings. If you feel called to that this month, I will link that in the description below. But thank you for just watching this video and being with me here today. Have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time. Taurus, this is a third house new moon for you. So this is all about your communication, your expression, short distance travel. The square is happening to your 12th house. So this is time where your subconscious focus could shift. What was more blind and impulsive with Aries could be getting more slowed down with Saturn, that you're analyzing and crystallizing something into material form. So you might be looking at your subconscious actions and reactions more. And this is changing your communication. This is a beautiful energy to have in the third house, where the words that you use, the thoughts that you have on a daily basis, there's an expansion and a healing here that is going to heal your subconscious patterns too. This is the kind of energy where you are self-nurturing through your thoughts, and it's healing your subconscious in the process. So continue to talk nicely to yourself, continue to soothe and nurture yourself in whatever ways feel right for you. Write yourself letters. This is a great energy to write yourself letters, and write until you start to feel more of the subconscious threads release. You might be surprised at what comes out when you start to just blindly put words to paper and let it flow. Mars is in your 5th house of creativity, self-expression. This is your children. This is fun. This is the play that you have. So you could be very motivated to enjoy your hobbies. That could be part of what's sending positive energy to this moon, because there is a sextile connection. So maybe it is through your children or through your hobbies or just having fun that you start to shift your communication. And it has a really positive effect on your life overall. Venus is in your sign, conjoining Uranus right now, and you've had Uranus since 2018. It's been a long journey. This moment where Venus connects with Uranus is a time where, one, people are going to be looking at you in a brand new way. They're going to see that you have changed. Venus is your ruler. So they're going to see something about you that has broken the mold, that is ready to come out in a new form of expression. Venus is also the ruler of your 6th house. So the ways that you go about your day, your routines, your habits. There's something that is breaking the mold and unfolding in a new way with your day to day. And somehow this has people looking at you in a different way. It looks to me like the changes you've been going through since 2018 with Uranus there, people are starting to really see this reflect in your personality. And at the time of this moon, in your communication. Saturn and Neptune in Aries in your 12th house, squaring this new moon in your 3rd house. There could be some rest, forced rest, short distance travel that is connected to rest and retreat, or connected to meditation and spiritual processing. You could be reading more about spiritual topics and understanding and materializing things about Piscean-like energy. And this is anything to do with our unseen realms, anything to do with the world that is not tangible. However, it's coming as a tangible form for you with Saturn in your 12th house. This is going to be a 3-year journey. This is just the beginning, and then it's going to come back in February, full force for 2.5 years, where you're really making sense of the energetic world and of what a spiritual guided process means to you. You might be writing a book. Some of you might be taking on new communication projects, new media projects, new transportation projects. There might be some things that are hidden, but that will come to the light over time. And your impulse based on intuition right now could cause friction in these places of communication, transportation, neighbors, short distance travel. This is a new beginning in any of those areas. And there could be a dissolving because of the square with your 12th house. But this new beginning in communication is more likely to have to do with 12th house things. If your intuition has been leading you into some conflicting situations, it's these very situations that you are now analyzing, thinking about, setting in motion in a new way with the new moon in Cancer in your third house, but healing and expanding ultimately with Jupiter here. Pluto does play a role this time in your 10th house, and this means that everything else going on is being seen by the public. It's still what you're working towards in your leadership and authority in the world, or breaking down leadership and authority. Being seen in the world for someone who is not following the old books and scriptures, but creating something for yourself. And that's the whole purpose of security and stability, which is the goal of a Taurus sign. When you have all of your comforts and needs met, then you can launch into something new from a very comfortable, secure place. That's not necessarily what a Taurus would prefer, but since you have just had Uranus in your sign since 2018, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Tauruses out there are starting to take leaps in action towards something different. And I was joking around with a teacher of mine as we were processing Taurus. We were talking about mutable, cardinal, and fixed signs and how they all change, but they all change at different rates. And my thoughts is that Taurus's fixed signs, so Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, they change, but they change so slowly they don't even know that they've changed. And so that could be what you're experiencing right now, where other people are seeing some of these changes, even if you aren't noticing. Do notice if your communication feels different and if it's starting to create shifts in that energy below the surface. That's what you're going to feel, is that there's just this internal sense of stability, certainty, discipline, feeling connected. And there's trust in that. There's trust in the work that you're doing to feel connected to the energy of all things and working from that place, not just of the place of material security, but energetic security with Saturn in your 12th house. But you let me know, Taurus, how this is going for you. Venus and Uranus in your sign could certainly bring some surprises when it comes to yourself, but that you're doing things differently. Your habits, your routines, your health is different. And with Venus activating Uranus and a Jupiter new moon, these are the benefic planets, Venus and Jupiter. And so they bring blessings, they bring good things. And overall, this energy very likely has some hidden surprises for you. Would love to hear from you, Taurus. Let me know how this is going in the comments. And we'd love to see you in the one-on-one Zoom readings if you feel called to process more with your personal chart. But thank you for just being here and watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.